How's it going, Average Joes? Welcome to November. This means we have 2 months left of the year. And today I want to talk about an end of year reading strategy and what to do to close out the year and prepare for next year. But more importantly, since it's November, that means it's Christmas season and my new drop is ready. So welcome back to the channel. Please like, subscribe if you are enjoying these videos. Today I'm going to go back to some of my strategies and, me being ever the strategist and planner, very practical guide to reading. I am going to talk about how to close out the year with an end of year strategy. Hopefully you like my new Christmas drop because yes, it is Christmas season. I've alluded to this before and I've got my Die Hard shirt on now.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Really loving this one. So, end of year strategy. You got 2 months left of the year. How are you going to plan out your reading? Now, if you're just going to go with your normal monthly TBR, that's great. You keep doing what you got to do. I plan my reading on a more of a macro scale, on a yearly thing, and yearly, and then from there I'll do a little bit quarterly somewhat. So I've done a couple of quarterly breakdowns, but now with 2 months left, I'm trying to think of, okay, what do I need to throw in to close out the year and then prepare for next year? Because I already have a decent list prepared for next year. I just have to, come December, I will actually break that down into tiers and priority tiers for how my planning for 2022 is going to be, but not there yet. So how do you want to close out the year? And so now here I'm going to talk about what my kind of strategy is, what my thinking is, and if you want any sort of ideas or thoughts of how you want to close out the year, and that's what this video is for. And it's going to be sort of to make it easier for you to end the year on a high note, to maybe take the whether it's stress out of TBRs or reading plans or whatever you want, wherever you want to call it. So that's just what this is meant to be, and it's completely my opinion of what I want to do, how I think I will be doing it, and take whatever you want out of this. I'm not saying you need to do what I'm doing. Do whatever you want. This is just my own practical year and end of year strategy to reading, and then just kind of how my logic works. So to start off, the big one, which I know a lot of people probably might not like, is don't start a new series. I haven't started a new series since August or September, probably August, I think. And it was around August that I decided, okay, I had the Senlin and the Shadow of the Apt read along that I'm going with, one per month. I don't need to start a new series because I have all of this October mystery thrillers reading that I want to do, and then some other things that I want to throw in. So it was back in August that I decided I'm just going to put off all my new series like Robin Hobb. That is going to be the first book of the year that I read, probably again is Robin Hobb, but I don't want to start any new series because I'd rather end the year clean. Now I'm going to still have ongoing series like Powder Mage I probably won't finish, and technically Shadow of the Apt because it's 10-book series, but that's fine. So there's still ongoing series that I have, but I'm not going to start anything new because then I don't want to start the year and be like, okay, now I have all of these series because I decided to start a whole bunch of them. Now where do I begin? So it also helps because I already know what's going to be at the top of my priority list for 2022. And that is Robin Hobb. Assassin's Apprentice. I'm probably going to start day one of the new year, and it's fine. It's already logged away. I don't have to worry about it for another couple of months. So don't start a new series. I think it's good time to play cleanup for the series that you do have. And I'm going to have a video after this actually going over what my end of year plans are and what my reading plans for the next 2 months to close out the year are. That's going to be another video though. So push them to 2022, and especially depending on what the priority is on the series as well. I mean, there's no shame in pushing series off. I'd rather, me personally, I like to more keep my series finished than starting a whole bunch, or at least keep them within a decent time frame. That way, everything stays fresh when I experience it. So, first thing is don't start a new series before the end of the year. Next one is I will be planning to fill my reading with smaller filler type reads. So a lot of palate cleansers, a lot of things that might be easy to breeze through. With last 2 months of the year, there's a whole lot of holidays, a lot of breaks, maybe there's a lot of traveling, a lot of events. So you might not have time or be able to pay attention to some of these heavier, bigger reads. So some of those smaller books that you might have been putting off for palate cleansers would be great to just throw on. And like if you're traveling and if you're a physical book reader, they're a lot easier to travel with a 300 to 400 page book than a 500 to 700 page book or plus. So the smaller filler type reads will be good, I think so, because it'll also make you um, feel a bit accomplished, especially if the holidays get a bit busy for you and your reading goes down. You're still knocking books out, so you'll still feel accomplished and that you're still reading books versus taking 3-4 weeks to finish one single book. You're reading much smaller books, so it's banging them out faster. Or if you do rereads, which I do not, but if you do rereads, I know a lot of people, this is a good time to do rereads because it is still fresh on your mind. You're not rediscovering everything. You're not discovering anything new. You're just reliving it. And I know a lot of people who like to do that around this time as well because it's familiar and it's just easier. Kind of going off of that, some of my filler smaller reads is look at the beginning of your year books. So if you do a yearly book review or a plan or the yearly plan of what you want to read, look back at that and see what you wanted to read and see where you had some failings. I know there's a couple of bigger series or a couple of a lot of books that I completely botched on this year and haven't knocked out any of them. And they're a lot smaller and easier to fit in. So I will be filling in some of those because they're smaller, they're fillers, and they were on my list to begin the year. So I need to actually like at least get one of them in, one or two of the actual ones on those lists. And I think it's just a great time because it'll help when you go look back at the year and see if you made that reading plan, how it's filled out. I did really good in my priority and my secondary reads, but everything else just kind of fell off. And there's a lot of ones that I didn't continue series wise. So this is a good time to fill those in, especially if they're smaller or otherwise. I mentioned to feel good and productive, so you're ending on a high note. I am at the end of today. By the end of the day, I'll have hit 70 books on the year read, and I'm recording this in October. So I'm like actually way ahead of my goal right now, but that's because actually I don't even set a yearly book goal. I'm just a way above average of what I normally am, but my pages per book, my page average per book is much lower than it normally is. So that's telling me that I might need to throw in a larger book because I've just been reading a bunch of small ones. But I mean, I've been doing the mystery thriller stuff. A lot of the Kindle Unlimited books that I've read this year have been really fast and easy to knock out. They've been a bit smaller. And my audiobook consumption has been gone up a lot as well. I've been cranking up to 2 times speed, and they've been a little bit smaller of books. So yeah, mentally prepare for the end of the year and for next year. I think if you have, really think about the series or the bigger books that you want to get into, you really want to pay attention to, I think those would be good to just push to January because the end of the year can be a bit hectic at times and it might give you some excitement. It's easy to get FOMO and always be like, oh man, this just came out, or people been talking about this, so I need to get to this one. And that sort of FOMO, I think, can delay something else because there's always going to be something new, something that somebody's talking about. And I think you just do it on your own schedule. And if you have, there's times where I have had a series and I schedule it 1 or 2 months out, and I'm just like so hyped to start it. I'm so excited, and it's so great when I start it. Instead of just like, okay, well, I really want to read this, so maybe I'll just put it off to next month or next week. I'll just get into it, and then it's like, okay, what are you pushing down? So, mentally prepare for next year. I think it's just kind of what I'm doing right now, and seeing what I'm feeling, and looking at what I have been reading. It's kind of helping to tell me what are my priority lists and my tiers are going to be for 2022. And then finally, the last thing I have is this could be a good time to branch out. Try something new. When you're starting off the year, going through the year, you might be completely focused on your reading goals. But if you're already doing really good on your goals now, if you have reading goals and you just want to close out the year, and this might be a good time to just throw something random in, something experimental, do something new, something crazy if you want, especially if your goals are good. Or if you are, you have these small filler type reads, standalones that are 250 pages, then you could just throw in something bigger and something that might challenge you a little bit more toward the end if you have the time and mental faculties for. And I actually kind of have that going on this month, November. I will be going back to a a book that I DNF'd last year, and it is a much bigger and a book that I struggled to get through. Hence the DNF. So that's what I'm doing at the end of this year, because I'm actually way ahead on. I've read a lot of books, and I read a ton of books in October because they were small, like thriller and mysteries. So I can take my time with a chunkier book that kind of drags on prose wise, at least for me, and what I struggle with. So that's a good time to throw those in if you can, and just do something enjoyable. Have some fun with the books that you're reading. I think this should be almost completely mood reading at the end of the year, and I have I'm finishing two series this month. These are the final books in their series, at least on the read alongs. And then after that, it's completely mood reading. I have nothing else planned. I have a list of and ideas of what I want to read. There's that other book that I mentioned. So there's only 3 books actually planned for the rest of the year. Everything else is just, I have a list. We'll see if I get to it. We'll see which one I want to pick up. But 100% mood reading. I think this is the best time to do your mood reading because of everything that's going on. All of the, whether it's holidays, traveling, family, parties, everything like that, and then just closing out the year. Go with your mood, see what it's like, because then if you completely leave it to mood reading, this might actually illuminate you a little bit to what you might want to read next year. This might be finding new favorites or something. But that is my quick and dirty end of year strategy for reading. And let me know how you plan on closing out the year. Do you have a bunch of books that you really need to finish before the year? How are you playing it fast and loose, mood reading? What are you doing to end out the year? And yeah, it's Christmas season officially, so I will be having trying to have some winter / Christmassy feels videos go out. Hopefully I can get my Christmas tree up. It's still pretty early as of recording this, so not quite yet. But that's what I have going on, and enjoy my new intros and outros for the season. And we'll chat more in the comments.